gosh, it's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring, it's raining cats and dogs again. I know we need the rain, and I appreciate the rain because it's getting rid of the pollen, but let me tell you something. It's also got my neck stove up, my back stove up. All that old stuff is stove up, and my knees even stove up. It's just one of those things. Have y'all ever heard that saying? It's all stove up. My granny used to say it all the time. Today we're going to share something about old folks, old ways, old times, old people. I went to the cemetery yesterday and took my mom, my granny, and my two aunts flowers. And while I was there, I visited my Aunt Tempy, my Aunt Leela, my Aunt Bessie, the Hubbard girls, as we called them. And they were my granny's dearest, dearest friends. And I just stood there in the cemetery, and it was really weird. I was thinking about all the amazing people who influenced me. And then I get a message last night that a very, very special lady who influenced me greatly went to be with Jesus yesterday. Wasn't expected, wasn't sick. She was the caretaker of her precious husband who has been fighting all kinds of things. But Sandra Coley, a dear, dear, dear friend, went to be with Jesus. I went to visit them last year, and I said last week, I sent her a message, and I said, I've got to come back and see y'all. I've got to come back and see y'all. She's gone to be with Jesus. And so this Thursday in Gainesville, Georgia, they will lay her to rest. If you're thinking about somebody, and you're thinking, I might go see them, go do it. Don't do like me. Don't wait a year. You know, we messaged, we passed back and forth and over, and I sent her lots of clothes. And she finally said, I've probably got enough black pants to get me through a lifetime. And I said, good, keep wearing them. But we don't know when the end of our life is going to be. And today we're going to honor people who taught me to cook, people who taught me to, my granny tried to teach me to quilt, and that was such a joke. I was so bad at that. It was terrible. And canning was one of those things. I finally learned to do it, but I was very weird about it because I don't time stuff, I don't measure stuff, and I will tell you, with canning, it is about perfection, so you need to time it and measure it. And I finally learned that little trick, but it took me a while, and my granny would say I'm a little bit stubborn, so that might have something to do with it. But when I look at my life, I wouldn't be me if they hadn't been here, and if they hadn't been a part of me. So we're going to show some photos that I did yesterday, and we're going to show one of Sandra and Jack, and what I would give to spend time with them, what I would give to have been closer to them. And I told them they live over in Gainesville, which is where I was born. And we went to church together. And one of the cool things about them is when I showed up for church, they always had that sweetness about them, that sweet attitude, that sweet spirit, just good, good folks. And we had something sadly in common. We both lost children. And it is so weird because when we think about what happens to me could happen to you tomorrow. And so if you think that you're skating by free and it's not going to happen to you, be very careful. Be very, very careful because we never know what we're going to face. Now this is one of my forever favorite photos. This is Papa Jack Bryson during the last eclipse. And you think about that last eclipse, it was such a big to-do because it was very close to here. And we got to see it much better than yesterday's eclipse. We did get to see it, but it wasn't like it darkened like it did in a lot of places. But that is so cool, and Denise had that picture of her daddy, and that is just such a sweet, sweet memory. And when you talk about a good guy, now there's Jack and Sandra, and sadly, Sandra went to be with Jesus yesterday, and she earned it. She earned the right to go. She earned the right to be right there with him, but it's going to be very, very hard. Because she drove Jack around, she took care of him. He had some health issues, and she was his tough, do it all, get it done kind of lady. And boy, am I going to miss her. I am going to miss her, and it's one of those things. I wish I'd gone more. I wish I'd spent more time with her. Now this is where I get my beginnings from very, very strong women. My Aunt Louise, who paid for my birth, $25. I reckon I was worth it. And my mama, who decided to not do away with me as an embryo. and my grandmother, who taught me everything I ever knew about country cooking. And then what she didn't teach me, Aunt Tempy taught me, and there's Aunt Tempy's resting place. And this is over in Dawson County, Georgia. And if you haven't thought about your past or your history or your heritage, get out and go visit a cemetery. And all of a sudden, and that's Aunt Bessie, who made, honest to goodness, the best dressing in the world. Well, her and Bonsil were like running neck and neck. And coconut cake, and oh my gosh, what a great, great cook Aunt Bessie was. And my Aunt Leela, who was very more patient with me than my grandmother was. The things that Granny couldn't teach me, Aunt Leela taught me, because Aunt Leela had a whole lot more patience than Granny did. Granny'd get kind of aggravated, and she'd say, well, don't act stupid. And I said, I'm not acting, it's real. So, but what a blessing to have been spent some time over there yesterday with these precious ladies. And then there are our dear friends, the Hubbard girls, as we call them. And this is where I work every day. That's why if I'm not here, that's where I am. We are walking the property. We are selling homes. We are building lifestyles, amazing homes, amazing location right in downtown Ball Ground. And today you're going to get to see the best of downtown Ball Ground, because we had an event this weekend that was over the top. It was crazy busy. I've never seen so many people in Ball Ground in my life, and the weather was perfect. Now this is Malone's Pond, and it was it's been there a long, long time, but the new development is kind of making it better than it's ever been. They've redone the pond. They've stocked it with fish. It's going to be really, really cool. And it is going to be home to about 68 houses, and we're excited about it. There's one of the first houses to be completed. And yesterday when I was out taking pictures, the geese were swimming around and kind of friendly. I didn't take anything to them to eat. I was going to take them some Cheerios, and I forgot it. But I'll do that another day. Just a sweet, sweet place to call home, and we're excited to welcome so many new people to Ball Ground, and they came because of Malone's Pond, so it's really neat. Now, speaking of remembering, I've had him on my mind so much lately. David Ralston did so much for the state of Georgia. He did so much for North Georgia. He did so much for so many people. And who's going to fill his shoes? Who's going to fill his shoes? Who's going to fill the politicians who really cared about us? Who's going to fill their shoes? I'm worried about the next elections. I'm worried about who's going to be governor of Georgia next. I'm worried about a lot of stuff, because you know what? Your vote affects you, your neighbors, your kids, everybody around you. So this morning as I came to town, yesterday I bought gas for $3.19. Today it was $3.49. How do you like them eggs? I don't like them at all. I don't like them a bit. There's no way that we can sustain those prices and live through what we are seeing happening with the economy. It is really going to be tough. It is very, very tough for first-time home buyers, because their house payments are averaging $700 to $800 more a month than they thought their payment would be. So it's tough. If you already have a home and it's paid for, then you can cash out and you can buy another home. But if you're just starting out, it's very, very tough. So keep it in mind when you go to the polls. Vote to bring us back to a good economy, and we're struggling. We're really struggling. The grocery store seems to be the place that everybody's hurting the most. So, well, one of the things we do in Ball Ground is we get together and we plan events. That's a big deal. And there were 2 events lately that you're going to get to see some footage. And thankful to my working partner, Glenn Sheely, who is an amazing photographer, and he loves to do drone work. And he and Tim actually met during the Christmas parade. Glenn was on one side of the road, and Tim and who else was with him? Tim and, oh my gosh, Tim. Who was with you? Who worked with you the Christmas parade? Oh my gosh.
Tim said Cole.
Cole did. Cole was still in town, yeah. So we had Cole and Tim on one side of the road, and we had Glenn on the other side of the road, and we captured the Christmas parade. It was amazing. But this past 2 weekends, Glenn has captured the Barbecue and Brews Festival and the Easter egg hunt. Now, the Easter egg hunt was like, boom, gone. In 5 seconds, it was gone. Those kids scarfed up those eggs so fast. And you're going to get to see a little footage of both of those. So we're going to do that right now. And I hope that you will see maybe your kids, your grandkids, and a little bit of what you remember Ball Ground's best thing happens to be Calvin Farmer Park. Got a glimpse of that bacon on a stick. This lady is from Michigan and she does about 45 events a year, and she just stands and fixes bacon on a stick at every event, and I'm telling you, the line was out the wazoo. There's a reason the line was out the wazoo. That was the best stuff I ever put in my mouth, and I'm so glad. Our guy, Glenn, who works in the office with us, he said, well, I'm taking drone shots. I'll get us something to eat. And he brought back bacon on a stick. Lord have mercy. If you had that often, you'd probably die of a heart attack. But it was sure good. It was so good. It was amazing. Amazing. Well, today, speaking of not being here anymore, there's a very, very special gentleman who's not here anymore, and he is celebrating his heavenly birthday. Very, very, very hard worker, very, very, very good guy who loved his family, loved life, and loved me. And he was just the sweetest, the kindest, and the best feller in the world. And so happy heavenly birthday today to Eddie Brackett. And we're going to share a little bit of what he loved to do the most.
Blue Ridge Mountain, Shenandoah River. Life is old there, older than the trees, younger than the mountains, rolling like a breeze. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads, all my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water, dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Misty taste of moonshine, teardrop in my eye. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home, country roads. I hear her voice in the morning hour, she calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday, country roads, take me home to the place I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country road, take me home. Country road.
What a sweet, sweet memory. You know, when this life is over, really all we have left are the memories of those loved ones that have passed on. And so many sweet memories, so many sweet moments of spending time with so many of the folks that we're honoring today. And one of the folks that is still among us, but growing, and just changing so much and becoming a person rather than a little baby, is Riker John. And we're going to share a video that we did. This was in honor of Jen, who loved my bread pudding. And it was as she was battling cancer. And so Riker and I were making this, and I was thinking about her today, and I was thinking about how long it's been and how many things we did together, the USO trips, the live shows that we did up in Blue Ridge. We did them at Bob Turley's house. We did them everywhere. We did live shows, and we had so much fun. And out of all those people, I mean, there's so many people gone, because Miss Mercier was with us at Bob Turley's house, and she's gone. And Jack and Joyce Bryson were with us. They're gone. There's so many people that influenced me, and all I have left are the memories, and I'm so thankful for those memories. So now we're going to go to a little boy that helps create memories for his Aunt Kiki a couple of days a week, because she babysits him. And he is so blessed to have the world's best babysitter, because she goes way above and beyond anything anybody would ever do to babysit a kid. So here we go to Riker John. This is our pan that we're going to put bread pudding in. See this? You coat it in butter. Yeah. See, you can touch it. Woo! That's butter on your hand now. Okay. All right. You got butter on your hand? Oh, now we got a problem. Okay. We got butter on your hand. This is the simplest bread pudding, and it is so yummy. And we're going to start. Riker, I want you to... No. Wait a minute. I'm going to help you hold it. No. Okay, you're going to crack the egg. Crack it again. Okay, wait. Got to crack on the side one more time. Good boy. Crack again. It's coming. Okay, now look. You did it. Oh! You did it. You can touch it if you want to. Okay, here you're going to do one more.
One more.
One more. Okay, crack it. Crack, crack. You crack till you hear it pop. There you go. You heard it pop. Now, we're going to get it. Oh, be careful so the shell doesn't go in there. Okay, cool. Now we're going to show everybody. Look, one of them busted and one of them didn't. See? But that's okay. Now, you're going to stir this. Can you stir this like this for Nanny? Stir, 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 stir.
I'll touch it now.
You can touch it now if you want to, because you're going to be eating this, so that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. You can touch it now? Okay.
No.
Okay, now listen. Okay, to this, Riker, look, this is a cup. We're going to add some sugar.
Mix it now.
Now you stir it now. Oh, how cool is that? Look. Stir and stir. And do you remember that Uncle Tim got you this bowl for your birthday? Did you know that? Okay, now look. Nanny helped you get the sugar in there really, really good. Now, look at what we're going to do now.
No.
Let me tell you what we're going to do now. Wait. We're going to put bananas in there.
Yeah.
See the bananas?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you're going to stir the bananas in. Can you do that?
Oh.
Oh, you can do it.
Yeah.
You got it?
Ooh.
So we have eggs, sugar, bananas. How about that?
I'm good.
Is that cool?
Yeah, I'm good.
You're good at this? You're really good at this?
I'm really good.
You're really good at this. Okay. Now, Nanny is going to give you, let me show you this. Hold that down. Hold it down. We're going to give you Silk Vanilla Almond Milk. 80 calories. And there you go. There's that. Okay, now gently stir. As Nanny adds it, you stir gently. Stir. Stir.
Wow,
okay, keep it in the bowl. Okay.
Cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Keep it in the bowl.
Wow.
Okay, you got it in the bowl? Now, let me show you the magic.
Yeah.
We're going to trade Riker's bowl for Nanny's bowl. And in Nanny's bowl is the Spurtle that you love. Let me tell you what this is. This is condensed milk. And we're going to add Riker's ingredients to Nanny's condensed milk. And then it gives us more room to put the rest of the milk. And we're going to put just a little bit more. Okay, can you stir that up now? And I'm going to teach you a lesson that my mommy taught me. I want you to smell this. Can you smell this?
Yeah.
Doesn't it smell good?
Yeah.
Vanilla smells so good, but you know what vanilla tastes like if you put it in your mouth?
Yeah.
It's not good until you mix it with food. If you just taste it by itself, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Are you getting it? Get the Spurtle and just stir, stir, stir. You're doing a great job. We have to get all the condensed milk off the bottom of the bowl.
Yeah.
You're doing really, really good. Thank you. Now let me tell you about this. This is an apple cake that Nanny bought at the store, and it was not yummy. It was dry. So Nanny created this recipe using the dry cake because you got to doctor a dry cake.
I mix it.
You mix it. Now hold your Spurtle down in there, and you just do this.
Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, keep stirring.
Yeah.
Can you do it?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want me to help you a little bit? You go ahead. I'm going to get a spoon so I can also help you.
Yeah.
Let me get a...
She did. She helped.
I'm going to help you. Yeah, Nanny's going to help you.
Bam, 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 bam,
Bam, bam,
bam.
bam. Did you watch Emeril Lagasse? He says bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
Are you going to be Emeril Lagasse's helper?
No, I'm going to mix it now.
Yeah, now. Do you want to try this spoon?
Yeah.
Uh-oh, wait a minute. We're losing some. Okay, we're going to add a little bit more milk.
More.
See that? That's almond milk. It's vanilla almond milk. Okay, is that cool?
Yeah.
Now, we're not going to stir it too much because we don't want it to get mushy. Okay, is that really cool?
Yeah.
Now, let me show you this. Okay, hold tight. I'm going to put the nuts in, and then I want you to stir up. These are candied pecans.
Yeah.
Can you stir all that up?
Eat this.
Can you do that?
Eat
Get your
this.
Spurtle down in there. Stir, stir, stir. We want to get the pecans all the way through it.
Eat it.
Can you do it? Yeah, we'll eat it. and a little bit after we cook it. Your daddy
Nut.
loves this.
I eat a nut.
Your daddy loves. Yo, you'll eat a nut. Your daddy loves this.
Wow. I'm done.
Daddy loves it.
I'm done.
Is it done?
Yeah.
It's almost done.
A banana.
Now, we got a little bit more cake we're going to put in there. A little bit more. And a little bit more milk. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. And a little bit more milk.
Ooh.
Now see how simple this was, Riker?
Yeah.
What do you think of this? Think you're going to like it? I think it's going to be exciting when it comes out of the oven and Riker made it. How cool.
Oh, I'm done.
Can you say Spurtle?
Soda.
Spurtle. Yeah. Jen gave us that Spurtle for Christmas. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Jen gave it to you. Okay, now, Nanny's gonna pour half of it in this pan. Let me take it up. And I'm gonna, because when you make bread pudding, you make it to share with neighbors.
Yes.
So, hold still, that's got butter in the pan. So we're gonna make some for us and some for neighbors. And that's what you do, you share.
Yeah.
That's how you're supposed to be a good neighbor.
I touched it.
You can touch it if you want to, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. What do you think of that?
Oh, a milk.
Wow, what do you think of
It's
it?
a milk.
Now hang tight, Nanny's got to get a knife. Hold tight and don't put your hands all over it. Let's get a knife and let's put a little bit of butter. Now look, we're going to dollop. Okay, here.
Cracked.
Can you put the butter in there? Put
Yeah.
the butter on top of it. Okay. Now here's more butter. Get the butter and just put butter here and there. Just a little butter here and a little butter there.
Cracked it.
It's good, like that. Like that. Like that.
I'm cracking this.
I think that's plenty of butter.
I'm cracking.
No, yeah, it's good. Okay, now can we show everybody? And we're gonna put this one in the oven. And we're gonna cook it for about 25 minutes on 350.
And an eggshell.
Yeah, we're not gonna put an eggshell in it. Can you tell people what this is? Bread pudding. Can you say bread pudding?
Yeah. Bread pudding.
Bread pudding. Yeah, so there you go. There's Riker's lesson with bread pudding. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll show you the finished product in just a little bit.
Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time. And delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
Georgia Medical Treatment Center now has 2 locations to bring you the high-quality holistic care you've come to know and expect. We treat neck, back, and joint pain with chiropractic care and injection-based treatment without the need for surgery or prescription painkillers. Our medical weight loss program can also provide relief while ridding your body of toxins, pounds, and inches while improving your overall health. Call today for a free consultation, 770-345-2000, or go online to georgiamtc.com.
You know, how you feel on the inside is just as important to me as how you feel on the outside.
Oh, Daddy.
I'm grown up, in every way, care and take care of you. I'm grown up and I know you're there. I'm grown up and you know I care. 'Cause it's you and me and me and you. So when you are okay or not okay, I'll take care of you.
Misty mountain, rainbow sky, a faraway look in your eye. Tell me, have you had enough? Traffic jams and city stuff. Don't you think it's time to go where black bears climb and waters flow? Hummingbirds out on the deck, your feet propped up, and what the heck?
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
Y'all know I keep saying this over and over and over. God keeps showing up. And boy, have I had some strange things happen lately. And I'm just like, God showed up. And last night I was talking to Vicki, and we were sharing some things that are happening and have happened. And we're just like, you know, it is so weird. How do we get through this? How do we get through this? Well, we get through it. And then when the end comes, we hope that we have everything in order and we're going to cross that finish line. And I want to read something. This is in honor, this is out of Mike's book, and I'm only going to read the last paragraph, but it's in honor of my dear friend Sandra, who went to be with Jesus yesterday. I'm going to miss her. I'm going to miss being able to say, hey, how you doing? Did we get through the day? You know, but I know where she is. Now it's our turn, and we're in the boat with Jesus. We can't see the finish line, but he can. He will pace us, encourage us, and lead us. The key is to keep our eyes on Jesus. If we listen to him and obey him, one day we'll cross the finish line. And we won't just finish, we'll finish strong. As we step out of the boat, I pray that we hear the words of our Savior when he says, well done, good and faithful servant. My dear friend Sandra was a good and faithful servant, and so many things she did for other people. One of the things that I was really touched by when I went to visit, she was sitting there and she had been making bears, and they're memory bears that she makes for people who either lost a child, lost a loved one. Maybe she'll take your dad's shirt and make you a keepsake bear out of it. She made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bears. So yeah, she left a memory for so many people. She left a mark on this world, and then God showed up and God called her home. And sad, it is very sad, because she was one of those, you could always trust her, you could always depend on her, and you could always believe that she would be there for you. And now Jack's going to face the rest of his life with just family there, and I know that they will rally around him and everything will be okay, but it's going to be a hard, hard time. So please pray for them and for the family, that they can get through this, because she was not only a great friend, she was a great mother-in-law, she was a great grandmother, she was a wonderful wife, and they had been married for many, many years. So God's going to have to show up to get him through this, and God will show up. So there you go. We're going to go somewhere now that God might not have been in the kitchen with me this day, because I blew it trying to make biscuits that we could film. I'm going to be doing a couple of cooking events at the Woodbridge General Store in Jasper, and one of the things we're going to be doing are biscuits. Now, a lot of people have never tried to make a biscuit, and the first time you make a biscuit, it's kind of like a war zone. You come out looking worse than you did going in, but when you master it, you really master it. Well, I've made thousands of biscuits, but on this day when we were filming, I blew it. I picked up the wrong flour. And as we kept looking and watching on the biscuits to rise, they didn't rise at all, not a tiny bit. But they still tasted good. They just lacked a little oomph, and they were flat as a flitter. So we're going to share this. The technique is perfect. The recipe is perfect, except I used White Lily plain flour instead of self-rising. So here we go. Okay guys, the gravy is cooked, and see this big old dollop of Crisco? It's going into my flour, and I've made a well, and we are going to make biscuits, and you just crumble it up. Crumble, 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 crumble.
crumble, crumble. And as Scotty Mayfield told me, you mean that flour just volunteers to get in there? And I said, yeah, it just kind of jumps in there and does its thing. So we're doing this, 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 and this. And we are making the biscuits in the little tiny oven because the pound cake is about 10 minutes from coming out of there. And we can't mess up the pound cake, so. And you see how I measured? I don't measure. That's why it's so hard to give people recipes. I've done 3 cookbooks and it's hard to give people recipes, but when people share recipes with me, I test them and try them, and then sometimes I change them because I just have this thing, you know. I say, well, that was really good, but if it had so-and-so in it, it'd be that much better. So, and you see how it just volunteers, that flour's just volunteering to get in there. Isn't that amazing? Reckon it called and said, hey, y'all, we're having supper, jump in here. Because it is just jumping right in there. And the thing that you have to be really careful is don't overwork your dough. Just gently be real, real sweet to it. And I'm being real sweet to it. And I gotta say, this bowl also came from the Walford family, and I love this bowl. There were 2 of them, and oh my gosh, I love it. And it is perfect for making my biscuits. So, is that not the coolest thing? And how simple is that? Now, I put foil down, and I buttered it, and we are going to, see that little biscuit? And the coolest thing about the biscuits is you always put your fingerprint in the biscuits. My granny taught me that, and I loved it. I said, nothing says loving like something with my granny's fingerprints on it.
Is that self-rising?
It is. This is, of course, White Lily self-rising with Crisco and milk. And I think we're going to end up with either 6 or 9 biscuits. I'm not sure. But I think between us, you know, it'll be okay.
I'll hang around if you want me to.
Yes, I thought you would. And this dough just feels perfect. And again, Granny taught me that you put your little fingerprints on them. So, and I know another trick, but I don't have any buttermilk. If you have some buttermilk and you put a tablespoon of buttermilk on top of your biscuit, then it picks up that flavor too. It would be great if I had buttermilk to make the biscuits.
You mean you'd put them in the pan? And then
put it over the, just like this. Yeah, you put it over the top.
And then a spoonful of buttermilk over the top of each.
Yes.
Huh.
Yes. Yep. Yep. I can't remember who the first person was. I think Dawn told me that Miss Long does that, and she taught her how to make biscuits. Imagine that. I tried to teach my daughter to make biscuits, and I couldn't figure out how to do it. And then she went to visit a precious little lady, I think over in Fairmount, and she taught her. So we got 6 and 2 babies. So there you go. In less than 5 minutes, we've made biscuits. And we've got the little oven turned up, and we're gonna let them cook.
What temperature?
It's on about 450. And it just depends on your, you know, like this gas stove. I'm not a big fan of gas stoves, but I have one now, so I'm having to learn to use it. I like electric because it seems to be easier to deal with. I think electric pays attention to you and minds you better, best I can tell. I think gas is kind of like having a man that wants his own way. He just does what he wants to. So, that's why I describe a gas stove. So
look at the gravy.
Let's stir this up. Now, what do you think? You think we should break up the sausage and put it in there? You want to do that?
Sounds good.
Okay. I'm going to wash my hands, then I'm going to do that. And you want to talk about that pound cake and what it's smelling like?
Oh, my word. I said I thought a good idea might be a pound cake and sausage sandwich. Just cut a slices of a pound cake, make them look like loaf bread. Put you a piece of sausage in there.
That'll be wild.
Yeah, well, I likened it to pancakes and sausage, you know.
And again, I've got the white lily flour sitting out, but don't mistake it. I always use self-rising.
For biscuits.
Yes, for my biscuits. And here we go. We're going to just...
Now, does it matter when you're making gravy?
Huh?
With the flour that you use for the roux?
The only time I use anything plain is when I make pound cakes.
But
pound
otherwise,
self-rising. Pie crust, yeah. Ask me how many pie crusts I've made in my life.
How many pie crusts have you made in your
2.
life? Is there a reason?
Ask me how far I threw them when we tried to cut it. And it was like concrete. It was like mortar mix.
Did you hurt anybody?
I think so.
Did you hear a dog go, ow?
Yeah. Actually, it was so bad. It was so bad. But we did Tennessee fried sausage, and we are just going to put it in the gravy. Doesn't that just, you know? And this muscadine jelly, and we have got to get some of the jelly out and show that when we get the biscuits out. Dawn did a great job with this jelly, and thanks to our precious, her Uncle John Tinsley, who gave her all these muscadines. It's just been fantastic. Does that look like something you might want for supper? Yeah. Yeah, I'm saying, yeah. And you know, here again, see my old dish from the Wofford family. I love old stuff. I love the old dishes. I love the old frying pans. I love my great granny's old salt and pepper shakers. There's something about the peace and comfort it brings. I think every kitchen needs a piece of history in it.
Well, you said you don't like brown gravy, that you like white gravy. But the difference between brown gravy and white...
I could have browned it, and it picks up a little bit different flavor, and a lot of people love brown gravy. But this is what my granny made. And so when I do things like this, it has to be the things that I'm familiar with, that I grew up with, you know.
But brown actually tastes different.
It does have a different
white
flavor. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, different. And you can see on the little oven we're using, those biscuits are coming right up there, and they'll be ready in about 6 minutes. And I think the cake will be ready about then too. And y'all just about had a nervous breakdown over this cake because it just nigh come out of the pan. Oh my goodness gracious, it just nigh come out of the pan.
But it stopped, didn't it?
It did.
It didn't go any farther?
It stopped right there at the top. So, thank goodness. And let me get a spoon.
Do you want to talk about the batter?
Let me tell you about the batter. I might have had a teaspoonful. I might have had a tablespoonful. I might have had a spoon this big full. But, Vicki, if we serve that in custard cups, people wouldn't know that it's not an elegant custard. It was yummy, wasn't it? Now see that? And look at this iron skillet. Is that not amazing?
Cherie's iron skillet.
That's right. That's right. And for y'all who remember eating at the restaurant, the greatest love of my life was to have folks come in and say, oh my gosh, we love your fried chicken. Oh my gosh, we love, love, love your peach cobbler. I'm going to try to make a peach cobbler for church Wednesday night. I try not to make commitments because I do sell real estate for a living. And sometimes a phone call says, can you meet me? And I'm like, I sure can. And so all my plans change. But that's what we do. So this looks good. I think I need a little bit more pepper in it now. I'm thinking Hans taught me, grind that pepper up, girl. So there, grinding pepper. And again, I'm so very thankful for our life today. I'm so very thankful for the economy today. I got everything I do. I know that God is in charge of so many great things happening, and one of the greatest things happening is the economy of the United States is coming back. And I think the Lord's sitting up there smiling because He remembers those lean days where we were allowed to. We struggled and we suffered. It was hard. A lot of days it was hard. And now things are really, really good. So, who are you voting for in 2020?
Well, there's only one person running, and that would be Donald J. Trump.
That's right, Trump 2020.
What does that say?
Yeah. 2020. You see them old age spots? That's experience. Experience with a bad president. I got a good one now. Now, can you see how the biscuits they're coming up? They're coming up. They're coming up.
With your little fingerprints in them.
Yep. And yeah, I've got it on just under 500. So, bracket, what time is it in real life? 6:04. That means it is almost time. Oh, let me look.
Ooh.
Oh, my. It's almost time. You want to get down in the oven one time? Okay. We know we're not supposed to open the oven. I just hope that cake doesn't fall.
It won't fall. Not at that stage,
Oh,
surely.
I hope it doesn't. Please don't let that cake fall.
If it does, I'll handle that one. I'll take it off your hands, and your next one can be not falling.
That's why I hate to make commitments taking something to somebody, because honestly, baking with this gas stove has about whipped me.
But you know, we're all falling.
Yeah.
And through the sacrifice of our dear Lord Jesus, we all rise again.
That's right. We rise again. You are so smart. You know,
we can play Jesus to your fallen pound cake. Yeah.
Let's get a plate out and let's see if we have a really cool plate.
I know you do.
I love old plates. Not that one. I want a really, really old plate. Let's see what we got going on here. I'll tell you something we hadn't done in a while. I used to have a Coca-Cola kitchen.
Huh? I'm here.
How about that?
Ta-da!
Let's do Coca-Cola.
Yeah,
Yay.
pretty.
So when the cake comes out, now I hope that I can do it again. I did it yesterday. I brought it out, I dumped it up, then I flipped it again and it didn't break. I'm not doing that in front of the camera, y'all. Because if it were to fall, you might hear, I don't drink.
Not the word Jesus.
I don't drink, I don't smoke, but occasionally.
You might cuss a little.
I might get in a flustered fit. And if this cake were to fall, you would probably see me into Sweet Ashley. Thank you so much for my towel. My towel. This is such a simple meal. It's such fun.
Oh, well, since I'm filming, you could bless me. Show them Mrs. Holyfield's mother's embroidery. Hey, no, this one here.
Let me get the jelly out too.
Okay.
I want to show the jelly too. Because my kitchen is a combination of the loves of my life. This was my grandmother and my grandfather. This was given to my grandmother when I was 2 years old. We ain't telling how old I am or how much I weigh. Just shut up. These are all keepsakes and amazing things. But this, was it 3 years ago? I got these as a gift. And you said they just seemed to fit in my kitchen. And they've been hanging right here ever since. And I double dog dare anybody to touch them. Do not touch my towels. Do not mess with my stuff. Do not mess with my stuff. Love it. Now, who made these? Your mother-in-law or?
It was my mother-in-law's mother.
Amazing.
Those.
Amazing. And now, look at this. What's that say?
Cherokee Dawn.
Cherokee Dawn. Farm fresh and fantastic. And it certainly is.
And I'm so glad you're Cherokee Dawn and not Apache Midnight.
That's right. Or Shawnee Dusk. You know, once upon a time, I did some stupid stuff. But again, my precious daughter Dawn makes this jelly. And let me show you. Let me show you this jelly. It is amazing. If it wasn't for Uncle John, she would not have. This is muscadine, and it is to die for.
It sure is.
So good. So good. And from this, we're getting the biscuits done. I don't know why they're taking a little bit longer to get done. Come on, guys. Let's rise them up there. Vicki, did I get out the plain flour when I sifted that flour?
I don't know. I wasn't watching.
That would be a failure. They look like they're rising.
Yeah,
they're
they
not
are.
rising quite like mine usually do. Oh my.
Would it be because there was water mixed with the milk?
No, it would be because I got the wrong flour, and then I would have a nervous breakdown heart attack.
I think so. No, well, I just saw one puff up a little in the middle.
Well,
so.
it better start puffing.
Yeah,
a
they're
little bit more.
rising.
Okay.
They're rising.
Rise on, rise on. Rise on. Now.
Again, if they don't, I can take
put
those off
gravy
your
over it.
hands
That's
for
right.
you.
We'll
You
put
know,
gravy
I can handle that.
That does make me nervous that I had two kinds of flour sitting there. What if I did that? Oh my gosh. Well, that would be a lesson learned.
The
y'all.
self-rising bag is open.
No, but it's because I moved the other one. Oh my. Oh my.
It's a mystery.
Y'all may see a disaster. I swear I believe those are flat biscuits. Well, we're going to enjoy them anyway, and we're going to pretend that they taste great.
That's right.
And they better. All right, we'll come back to y'all as soon as they're ready to come out of the oven. We're going to take the cake out of the oven right now. Can y'all believe I blew them biscuits? I blew them biscuits. I reached for the wrong bag of flour, and we were just waiting and waiting on them to rise up and brown and be pretty, and they did not. But I will tell you, every one of those biscuits were eaten because they still tasted yummy. And this segment goes out to Lisa Perry in Turtletown, Tennessee, because she said, I like sausage gravy. So in this segment, you get sausage gravy. And it was yummy. The biscuits were yummy, although they never rose a tiny bit. And honestly, if I had known it was plain flour, I'd have thrown some baking powder in there and a little bit of salt, because that's the key to doing it. But because you got to see that pound cake, I want to share the recipe
for that pound cake. It's my granny's old time, just a plain old pound cake, and it is yummy, yummy, yummy. Everybody's asked for it, so here you go. It's 3 cups of flour, 3 cups, but it's 2 cups of plain, 1 cup of self-rising. That's why I had both those flours sitting out on the counter, because I had done the cake and I used both flours. So to make the pound cake, it's 2 cups of plain flour, 1 cup of self-rising, 3 cups of sugar, 3 sticks of softened butter, do not use margarine, butter, and 4 ounces of softened cream cheese. Now you add 6 eggs. So you start with your eggs, you start with your butter and your sugar, and you cream it, and then add eggs one at a time, and then add your flour a little bit at a time, and then put in vanilla flavoring, or you can use almond flavoring or lemon flavoring, whatever flavoring you like. And bake it at about 330 degrees. Really depends on your stove. I use a gas oven, and so it's about 330 to get it done in a gas stove, but you know your oven better than anybody else does, so test it. But I'm telling you, it is just a really yummy, not too sweet, just a yummy, yummy pound cake, and it was Granny Gilreath's recipe. And when we look back at today's program, it's all about the ladies who taught me, who really nurtured me. And I'm so blessed, because if my granny were here, she would have died laughing at those stupid biscuits that didn't rise a bit. Her daddy was a bit of a tough old bird, and if his wife, my granny, got the biscuits out of the stove and they were about brown, she would get in trouble. And he'd say, "You've burnt them biscuits." Well, no, she just browned them, Pa. But he liked very, very light biscuits. He didn't like them browned any. I like them browned. So if you want to see my perfect biscuits, you can go to my YouTube channel. Just go to Cherie Martin, Heart of the Home, and you will see pan after pan after pan of perfected biscuits. Not like those disasters I did in that segment, because I blew it. I picked up the wrong flour. I still can't believe I did that, but I did, and of course I did it in front of a camera. So, but Vicki and I were having a good time that night. We were, baking, cooking, laughing, and hanging out in the kitchen. And when you look around that kitchen, you see so many memories and treasures from Aunt Leila, Aunt Tempy, Aunt Bessie, everybody. I've got something of everybody's, and it's in that kitchen, and it makes it a warm and just a good country kitchen. That's what it's about, bring in that comfort, the comfort of the people that you loved. I've got a little teeny coffee pot that was my Aunt Louise's, and it's sitting up on a top shelf. Wouldn't take nothing for it. Just wouldn't take nothing. It's not worth anything to anybody but me, but it wouldn't take nothing for it. So look at your treasures, look at your memories, remember who gave them to you, and spend a little time today saying, "Thank you, Lord, for sending those people into my life. Thank you, Lord, for letting me be a part of their life." I look at a treadle sewing machine all the time, and I think about my grandmother, and I think about the soothing sound of that rocking back and forth of that treadle, and how she would make my clothes, and she would spend time mending garments, and she would just work. And I would lay there and often fall asleep on her bed as that treadle sewing machine went. So those are the memories that'll get us through the hard days in life. We're going to face some hard days. We're going to face some crazy days. Yesterday was officially my crazy day, because when it ended last night, I was sitting there scratching my head going, "What? Are you kidding me?" But life is what it is. People come into your life, and they either destroy your life or they make your life stronger. And often you look around and go, well, I guess there was a purpose for them being here. Not sure what it was. But I know that the purpose for Sandra Coley to have been in my life was to strengthen me, to make me happier, and to make me feel very, very blessed to call her friend. So today, please say a prayer again for the Coley family. They are, I don't know how they're going to do it without her, because she was so strong, she was so good. And again, when you think about doing something for somebody else, she sat and made hundreds and hundreds of bears to give to people to remember somebody who passed. And it started because they lost a son. So that's what we do. We give back and we give back and we give back. and that's what it's about. When we think about today, it's rainy, it's miserable. We could say it's going to be a terrible day, but you have a choice. Make it terrible or make it terrific. I say make it terrific. You know what you can do on a bad day? Go to the kitchen and make up a pot of stew, make up a big pot of spaghetti sauce, make up a big pot of chili. Do something to bless somebody else. And when you finish cooking, just put it in little containers and think of who you could bless with supper tonight. Maybe make them some chili and cornbread and take it to them. But do something for somebody else. And then all of a sudden, the dreary day will be gone. We are facing several days of this dreary, miserable rain. And we just might as well, what is it? Suck it up, buttercup? Yeah, we've got to. We have to deal with it. We need the rain. The flowers certainly need it. And the gardens are going to need it. Speaking of gardens, it's almost time. Do y'all plant your garden by the signs? Well, you better, because that's another thing Granny taught me. And she said, don't waste your time and energy if you don't do it right. So think about that as you start to garden. There's so many people now who are experimenting with gardening, and it's a lot of fun. It's really neat to see the kids get out in the garden. So today, I hope I've been an example for you. I hope you'll get your grandkids in the kitchen. I hope you'll let them put their fingers in the food, let them feel what it feels like, because texture is a lot of everything in cooking. And just get in there and hang out with them and spend a little time with them. Be a blessing to somebody. And as I look back on today's program, so many of you have been such a blessing to me, from Papa Jack to Joyce to Denise, Lisa, Scott, so many people. Jen, oh my gosh, how I miss Jen. And I'm so blessed to have had them as part of my life. And I hope that I made a difference in their life. So we're facing Mother's Day. It's a very, very hard time. The reason I went ahead and took flowers, Mother's Day is a tough, tough day for me, because my daughter's not here to celebrate with her daughter, and my mother's not here to celebrate. And more than that, my grandmother, who left here when I was 40 years old, I still struggle with not having my grandmother here. I can feel her hands, I can hear her voice, and I miss her so much. And what I have left are those amazing memories. Keep the memories close. Keep your heart thinking about what they did to bless you, and we're going to get through these hard times, because remember what happens? God keeps showing up. He keeps showing up. Today, be safe on the roads, and do like me, whine when you have to buy that $3.49 gas. Isn't that crazy? Absolutely crazy. Be safe out there, and I will see you again soon. Don't forget to check out the YouTube channels, Cherie Martin or Cherie Martin Heart of the Home. Lots of programs, lots of good recipes, and lots of fun. I'll see you again soon.